Good morning. Today is the 14th of May and it's the last day of our course, and I'm hoping to have this uploaded by 10:30. So it's quite early in the morning. It's about 8:45 actually. It's not so early. So I'm just giving you a tour of this garden, to what I did yesterday and the progress of it over the last couple of months. You can see the strawberries. We planted up this whole bed, put the wood chip down and replanted the strawberries, and we have a few flowers on there already, so they're starting to go to fruit. This I planted yesterday. It's a green courgette and the slugs love it, so I've put a bottle over it, and you can see what I've done with the top there, because they leave and crawl up and go down the inside of the bottle, so that does protect it, and it also gives it a bit of warmth. Make sure it doesn't get too cold. These were self-sown lemon balm, which I just planted up in a pot because I don't need them in the garden all over the place. These were peas, but they have not come up at all along this line here. This line here, this is parsnip, and they're doing really, really well. You wouldn't have seen me plant those. Over here I get to plant up some more tomatoes here, but there's a cucumber in the middle which I covered because they hate the cold, and that's doing okay. And there's the tomatoes I planted yesterday. Along here there are onions and carrots, and you can just see the carrots, that there. It's not a busy bed. And then these were the runner beans that I planted up yesterday, and I put bottles around them to protect them from the cold. And I also forgot to tell you that the slugs do love biting the growing tips out. They've lasted overnight quite well, so no slug attacks yet. But I'm just leaving those on for another week, those bottles, and then they'll come off. And I've put beans in around the edges as well. So this bed has been completely refashioned. I've put some compost on the top, and in here I've planted a few leeks, tiny baby things, don't know if they'll do anything. And here some parsley. Now they don't need to be covered for any animals except the cats, so that's the only reason they're covered until they're a bit bigger. Here we've talked about this bed. I've put some white, these are white beetroot, and these are red beetroot under here, and some lettuce, which looks like it's surviving the slugs. A little bit of damage here, so I'll have to keep an eye on those slugs. But it's doing all right so far. Here I've put more beans in the ground, and here I've put some of the other beans that were from the other side here. So there's borlotti, runner beans, and they too seem to have survived any slug attacks. In here yesterday, let's see if I can raise this thing. Hold on. In here I planted a whole load of purple curly kale, cabbages. I can see a cabbage has absolutely bitten the dust, so the slugs have had that. The slugs are eating, or the snails are eating, this as well. So I need to get some slug defences out. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I might discuss that on the course. So something's eating them. They will have a hiding place somewhere. So I need to get a bit canny with how to protect my brassicas. So anyway, I'll leave that there for now. And here's a whole load of herbs. Lemon balm, chives, sage, rosemary, feverfew, mint. There's mint. This looks like oregano, and all along along here are the fruit bushes. So we're really pre-harvest at the moment. There's not a lot you can pick right this minute. This is comfrey, which is doing really well. And then we're back to the beginning. And in here you can also see rocket. So that rocket, I've been picking that for the last week or two, and that's ready to pick. And these are fresh spinach plants and chard plants, and they're quite robust, quite slug proof in many ways. So I have to get thinking about the slug situation. Compost going well. That's the old one. I'm still digging stuff out, and my greenhouse is full of seedlings, many more than I could possibly cope with. But some of those will go down the allotment, some will go out the front, some more in this garden, and probably friends and family will have the rest. I used to sell them last year, but I've decided not to do that anymore. It's too much hard work for too little return. So that's the garden on Friday morning, the 14th of May. A bit gloomy weather today, and a few losses overnight. So I'm going to have to find a way of protecting some of those brassicas. So I'm just going to add a little bit more to the video and show you what else is going on here. So this was a pretty empty bed. In the spring I sowed directly into it on one of the early videos, and you can see there's a lot coming up here now. There's some carrots and onions here. There's the onions. There's these are parsnips. Parsley was just a tiny little plant earlier, and we've got some, these are radishes that are coming up. You can just see the little red roots, and this is all the chard and spinach. And then along here we have the carrots that I sowed earlier in the season, some seedlings, some rosemary and sage seedlings, a whole tub of, I suppose that's spinach. These are meant to be, they're not doing very well actually, but these are meant to be peppers of some sort or another. Then we've got some tiny, these are beautiful thyme plants, these little ones here on the front, and this one. So there's quite a few nice things here. And here we've got peas, not doing very well at all this year, and various other little things. So things that need to be transplanted. This, for example, this is lamb's lettuce, and these are little gems. So there's quite a few little bits and pieces. Oh, this one's a bit, should never do that. I should have put a hole in that. Never mind. So, and I want to just show you now quickly, poor girls, they're all wet. The patio. So there's plants everywhere in this house. So this is just a tub of tiny, what do you call them, herbs. So parsley, dill, coriander. This is some aloe that my sister threw out, so I thought I'd rescue it, and I might get it to grow again, so just giving it a life. These are all those lovely squashes and cucumbers that we salvaged yesterday, last week from the polytunnel. I'm in mid-plant here. Those are lupins, and I'm going to put some cosmos and some zinnia in there and stick it out the front for some pretty flowers. And these are more squashes, and these are peppers. What's that? That says coriander, but that doesn't look like coriander. Wonder what that is. So basically that's what's going on the patio as well. When I have my little gatherings here, obviously this is all gone, but yeah, that's what it looks like today.